website called sleepjunkie.com, and they're going to pay somebody $3,000 to test mattresses over 2 months. You sleep on the mattresses. They're looking for a sleeping beauty. Sounds like a great job, right?
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
You get to keep one of the mattresses, and you go to their website, sleepjunkie.com, and again, they pick somebody, pay you $3,000, you try the mattresses, you make some easy cash, right?
Sounds super easy.
I have a friend named Jason who, when I read this story, he actually did one of those sleep studies for NASA. Jason, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. What's up, dude?
So, tell everybody how in the world you got linked up with this NASA sleep study before we talk about exactly what you did.
Yeah, I got linked up because my stepmom reached out. She knew that I was trying to find a summer job to pay for college, and so she sends me this link. And I honestly think it was on Craigslist. And I, at the time, needed money for college. That's where all my friends were. My girlfriend was there, and I would have done just about anything to come back.
So you're needing cash to go back to school, but what did the job description say you had to do for NASA?
Well, it was very nondescript at the time. It was much more appealing than what it actually wound up being, So it was just like NASA sleep study. That was it. And it was and it also had the dollar amount, which was $1,000 a week over the course of 7 weeks.
Wow.
Which,
yeah.
$7,000
for a lot of money.
Yeah, almost 2 months' work. $7,000.
Awesome.
Sounds great, right?
Yeah.
So you have to leave because you were living in Oklahoma, but you had to drive down to where?
I had to drive down to Dallas.
So you go to Dallas, and that's when it kind of gets real. What were they expecting from you in this sleep study?
So what I wound up doing was there was two groups of people. There was one group that was a workout group, and there was one group that was a rest group. But both groups had to, at all times, lay down at an incline for the duration of 5 weeks.
Oh,
What?
feet up or head up?
Yeah, it's tough.
Feet up or head up?
Oh, okay. So my feet were up. So my head was at the bottom of the sort of
So
it was tough.
24 hours a day for 5 weeks, you're laying at an incline?
Correct. But I'll give you a bit of a bright spot of my day was that I was in the workout group. So for 2 or 3 hours a day, I would go into a room and they had the bungees and things like that. But I was working out, and the weird thing I told Bobby this was that it was in the best shape of my life, to be perfectly honest.
And you were laying down though while you worked out, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
I was laying down. I mean, there were times where I would do crunches so I could come up and do things like that. But yeah.
You brain dead?
Hold on a second. Why were you doing this? What were they testing you for? The reason?
So, I'm not a scientist, but I can tell you vaguely it was about maintaining someone's normal sort of blood flow rotation thing there in space. And so apparently that decline is supposed to sort of mimic the way that your body acts in space. And so they had me on a very strict diet. In hindsight, I wish I would have asked more questions because I'm about to tell you guys, I took some sort of pill every day. I don't know what the pill was or what was in it. But yeah.
Well, you still don't know what pill you took every day for 5 weeks?
I find it's better to just not ask questions about the past.
He has a tail now. Other than that, though, he doesn't quite understand. So of the 24 hours a day, literally you were laying in the... What if you had to use the bathroom, I guess?
Yeah, they had some creative methods and technology, I would say.
Catheter?
But you didn't get up and walk to the bathroom.
No, it was so there was a number of things. Yeah, so there were some methods that I feel like your listeners aren't going to hear about, but yeah, I was quite surprised by how effective it was. And then, the weirdest one was the shower because there was a whole shower room built for this. It was I would have to roll over on a wet, a waterproof bed, and then they would slide me into a massive room, and the whole room was basically a shower. It's quite nice, actually.
Were you naked laying on this bed when they shoved you into the room?
No. I had clothes on.
He's acting like, of course not.
We
He just
know,
told
but-
us he took a pill every day. He didn't know what it is. He's like, man, I'm not crazy. I'm not getting naked.
For the shower, you were naked.
No, he wasn't.
No, when I was in the hall, when they slide me in, I had clothes on. But when I showered, of course I was naked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you're sure there weren't cameras that
But
watching
no,
you?
they videoed for sure.
Yeah, for sure they videoed.
They have to document every single
Everything.
aspect for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bad setup in some ways, because I was, they would give you movies and video games and things like that. I read all the Harry Potter books. I learned the basics of guitar. I was pretty productive during that time.
So you laid in this bed without getting up for how many weeks straight?
5.
Okay, the first time that you stand up, what happens?
So I was warned that that it's going to be hard and that my feet are going to work, aren't going to work properly. And, hearing that as an adult, I'm kind of like, yeah, okay. I know how to walk. But as soon as I put my feet down, it was like needles, on my feet. It hurt so bad. And I had to, relearn how to walk. I couldn't believe it.
When did it kick in, the walking? When did you feel normal?
So, I had nurses walk me around for about an hour, and then do some post checkup stuff, blood pressure and things like that. But the day that I got out of the study, I had to go back to college. So my dad drove me up, and there's a long story, but basically I had my, at the time, ex-girlfriend have to help me around. Ex-girlfriend, now my mom. So, but she had to walk me around, which was just funny. And after about a couple weeks, I was able to fully walk normal. And then about 4 weeks, I was able to run and sprint and things like that.
It took him a month to get back.
Crazy.
To normal. So what? So you finished this entire sleep study. They pay you $7,000. What do you do with that money?
Yeah, no, I put some of it to school, but I would say definitely I wasted a lot of it.
Of course.
I was it was the first time I had multiple thousands of dollars, and so I took 3 trips in that first semester. Bought a lot of clothes and things like that. It was again, in hindsight, I would have done a lot of things different,
Would you have done the same sleep study if you knew everything that it entailed?
Probably, okay, now, no. At the time, I still probably would have done it because, like I said, I was just trying to get as much money for college as I possibly could.
Do you guys have any questions for Jason? We've talked. If you're just turning us on, you should go back and listen to the podcast because my friend Jason, who is near Oklahoma City now, he went and did a sleep study for NASA to test these effects on astronauts' bodies, and he stayed in a bed. It was a 7-week study, but he stayed in a bed for 5 weeks straight. Lost all feeling in his legs. So you had pretty ripped up arms out because you could do curls as you were laying in the bed on the decline.
Yeah, it was my abs and my arms were just in incredible shape. It was wild.
And there was another group.
Probably speaks more to how poorly I've treated my body since and before. But yeah, that's another story.
The other group got nothing. They couldn't work out at all.
Yeah, and that sounded like a nightmare. But apparently, there's a whole underground subsect of humanity that does this. And I met a couple of people. They would come through, and the doctors would be like, "This is Jason. How's your experience?" And then when the doctors would leave, the guys would be like, "Hey, man, you can do this for 3 times as much in Austin." And I was like, "Okay."
He travels around the country.
Yeah. This is how people make a living.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Crazy. Okay, that's interesting. How many years ago was this?
So this is in 2008, I believe.
Okay.
So I was a junior in college. Yeah.
I guess I'm just curious if there's ever, that was only 5 weeks of your life, but it seemed pretty intense. So did anything do your legs ever just suddenly go out, or do you have any side effects at all from putting your body through that?
Not really. I'll say the only thing that, there was a couple big procedures they kind of had to do. One of them was they had to put a camera in my heart for
what?
Or next to my heart for 4 hours. And that's fine, but they also had to cut a piece of muscle out of my leg, and that scar is still there.
What's happening right now?
For $7,000.
For
$7,000.
How did you not lead with the camera in the heart?
They put a chip in my neck. It's fine. I'm fine.
Listen, they put a whole rolling pin up my butt for a week, but other than that,
Wow.
What? Okay.
insane, right?
Yeah, this just gets weirder and weirder as he continues to talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else, Eddie Lunchbox?
I mean, the first thing that just came to my head, and Amy kind of touched on it, but like I just thought being upside down, when I do that like on a monkey bar, like I go dizzy. So is your head okay? Like really? Like do you think straight?
You have a red blood head for like 5 months.
I would just think that something's got to be wrong with your brain.
Yeah, my head is fine, but it was an adjustment period, it's like a 48-hour adjustment period. But after that, it weirdly was fine, and they were surprised by how just sort of chill I was because I had friends that would come through and visit and things like that, but they would have like therapists and stuff visit, and to see if I was fine, I would just be like watching a movie and be like, yeah, I'm good.
Were you allowed to tap out? Did people like, hey, I'm out of here? Like after a week, I
like the Navy SEALs
yeah,
ring the bell.
like ring
when
the
you can't
bell,
do
and
it?
then you all laugh at them like you suck.
I mean, obviously they can't make you stay, but it is like in the 2 weeks leading up to it, they're very intense about like, once you start, there's a lot of money, we like, please don't quit, things like that. So I will say that the one detail that I told Bobby when I told him the story was that my wife, but then girlfriend, broke up with me like a week before the study. And so that was tough. It was a cold-blooded move, I say.
She dumped him right before he went in.
Dang.
And they got back together. They're married.
They're married now.
Did you make any friends in there like that you still talk to?
No. There was a guy. My trainer was actually like an Olympic gold medalist from like the 50s or something like that, and he and I like got along because I was a runner in high school, and so we got along, and we tried to keep up for the next year, but then we fell out of touch.
We all forgot each other.
Yeah.
Classic story of romance in college. There he is, Jason Gallagher. Isn't that an interesting story?
Yeah, for sure.
He tells like an hour-long version. I laughed the whole time.
This is good, man.
But he did a sleep study at NASA, and he lived to tell about it with $7,000. Do they tax that money?
Yes. They
Yeah,
do.
of course.
But I tell you what, looks great on a resume if it's big enough.
NASA.
You're coming out of college.
I work for NASA.
All right, Jason. Thanks for the talk, man. Talk to you soon.
All right, see you about it.
All right, bye-bye.